what is the natural money of an internet or of data, other data, not fiat money. That's never going to work in the digital world. Digital money is going to work.
Yeah.
So what's the best form of digital money?
The highest signal, right?
Right. The highest signal. So, if AI gets access to a Bitcoin account and Bitcoin values grow, et cetera,
Did you see that thread? The guy that he put 0.0001 Bitcoin in a bunch of different wallets and gave the private keys to different AIs, so the Gemini, the ChatGPT, Claude, et cetera. And he's like, let's see what the first one to take the coins and send it away.
Well, my theory is that this is a step in the process, even if it's not being talked about by the AI researchers and developers and corporate people themselves. This is a natural step in this agentics world that we're entering. Is if you've got agents that are effectively doing all of your work, booking your next vacation for you, well, they need a credit card to pay for that. They're not going to use a credit card; they'll use Bitcoin.
Yeah. It gives AI the real world capabilities, because now you can start manipulating human action through payment. This gets real sci-fi. I think
you need a way to transact.
Well, why would they use Bitcoin? If they're able to manipulate behavior, they could just launch a shitcoin, make a few million, and then dump it, and then they have the money. And
well, who knows?
Dump it. What money? If you're talking about dumping it and picking up fiat, see, I think again,
maybe dumping it for Bitcoin. I guess
you got to dump it for something that it can work within the constraints of the digital world.
Right. Yeah. So then the shitcoin thing would just be a fundraising mechanism.
I want to
let's draw the analogy to the Matrix. Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of want to move this conversation to the more practical side of AI. But like, given all this information, is AI something that we should be excited about? Is it something we should be utilizing? Like as let's just say entrepreneurs, it makes our lives a lot easier. It allows us to do a lot more things with a lot less people. But given this potential future, like what should our relationship with AI be like?
Good question. And it's one that we need to have this dialogue around, not just let the researchers talk about it or the corporate interests talk about it. This is something that needs to be a community-based conversation everywhere that people are worried or concerned about their own future. There's a promise, there's an upside to AI, eternal, curation of every disease known to mankind, growing healthy food, preserving the environment. I mean, there's an upside to it all. Freeing us, just as the car freed us from horses and buggies, just as the telephone freed us from, not having people around the world we could talk to. Mm-hmm. There's an upside to this. There's a downside as well. But, let's go back to the analogy of the construction of the atomic bomb. Nobody knew when they set off the first atomic bomb. They had theories, but they had no practical knowledge of whether or not the first atomic bomb was going to ignite the oxygen in the atmosphere and incinerate the Earth. Nobody knew. But what are the benefits of that first nuclear explosion? Certainly, it allowed the construction of weapons of destruction that could eliminate humanity altogether. But it also gave us nuclear power. It gave us ways to, again, use nuclear science in medicine and PET scanning, et cetera, radiology, et cetera. So, the opening up of the atom, had a real benefit, societal benefit on one side. It also had some risks. And it's a question of how well we can manage those risks. Maybe, the stakes go up with AI dramatically from the first nuclear, fission or fusion experiments. But the risks go up. But, can we put that genie back in the bottle? I doubt it.
So it's something we're going to have to contend with. And it's just really about having these conversations on how we build our relationship around it, right? In a very conscious manner.
And if we surrender the outcome to the so-called experts, well, we know the risks there. We see it all around us.
Well,
Yeah, it's such a shame that leadership all over the world is like just full of clowns right now.
Right.
my intuition here is kind of something that you said, especially with the whole chat GPT, OpenAI, closed source nature. I think it was really a race to see who can develop, the, AI superintelligence in order to control it. And so they become the masters they use it as a tool to control society.
So then, now we get into a discussion of economics and incentives. Clearly, the shock value of the last week of DeepSeek is if it's true, and people are still debating it, that they developed this very capable AI model, this reasoning model, on $7 million worth of investment and older NVIDIA chips that are not subject to, export constraints. If that's true, then, all of the massive investment and our whole system of, rewards for, these investments, right? Multiple rewards for the investors that come in early into OpenAI, et cetera. I mean, we're talking about trillions of dollars of money. And a lot of that NVIDIA on Monday morning suffered the greatest decline of, in market share, in market value, not market share, in market value of any stock in history.